Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Matt Vierling. Thank you. Oh, my heart. Oh, my brain. My sanity. My God. I have so many things to talk about with this game. So many things. A lot of negatives. A lot of positives. Everything. Oh, I can't think straight. I cannot think straight. Oh, there were so many times I went through so many mixed emotions through this game. Anger, upset, stress, frustration, happiness, excitement, obliterating madness, insanity. I'm still insane. Don't get me wrong about that. I'm very much insane. But my God. Thank you. Thank you that they won that game. Thank you. It was probably the most important game of your season to win. And in that 8th inning, Sir Anthony, after the Bryson stop botch double play attempt, where 2 runners are on with no outs for Vlad Guerrero, then Sir Anthony allows the 3-run bomb. I was like, here we go again. Here we go again. And all throughout the entire fucking game, when you're not scoring with runners in scoring position, Bryce Harper, so many chances he comes up short. Rhys Hoskins, same thing. Everyone, basically, it's the daycare that's doing everything. All the young guys in the batter's box that are doing anything. Bohm's doing things in the batter's box. Goddamn Guthrie coming off of the bench and producing more than, I would say, Bryce Harper. Matt Vierling, 5 hits. Matt Vierling, 5 hits. His Car Shield commercial was right. He knows a thing or two about game-winning hits. I think everyone tonight should go purchase some Car Shield for their insurance. I don't own a car, so I can't do that. But if I had a car, I would buy Car Shield. God damn it. A lot of things to talk about with this game. Very disappointed with Bryce Harper. Very disappointed. I know Kyle Schwarber got a hit that tied the ball game up in that bottom of the 8th inning when the Phillies did respond. So he gets a little bit of a slide there, but there was a lot of other chances throughout the game. Rhys Hoskins, a lot of chances. Bryce Harper, no. Bryce Harper, though. Love you, buddy. I love you. You are way too sucky right now. You look scared. Bryce Harper, my man, you look scared. I know you're probably trying to do everything in your heart to carry this team. I think you're doing way too much. You look scared in the batter's box. You're chopping, you're freaking rolling over pitches. You're grounding out, over hustling, striking out, not driving the ball. You look lost. You look scared, like you're trying to do something. My God. My God. Like I said, it's the daycare doing everything. Alec Bohm, freaking Guthrie off the bench. Sometimes Stott has his days. Vierling had his night tonight. Literally, the only veteran that doesn't look like he has been scared throughout this entire stretch is JT Realmuto. JT Realmuto gets the run started, responding with the solo shot after Vlad's solo 3-run bomb. So JT, he doesn't look scared. He's been the veteran that's been having consistent at-bats. He's been the veteran that's, been getting consistent, multi-hit games. He's actually doing stuff. I don't think it's a lack of caring, because I do think these guys care a ton. They're playing too tightly. They look scared. They're feeling the pressure. They're feeling the pressure from the fan base. And they're tensing up way too much. Hopefully this win snaps them out of it for the time being, because this was such an important win today, because the Brewers won against the Mets. They won. They salvaged that series. You needed to win this game, and now you still have that 2.5 game lead on them in that 3rd wildcard spot. Padres, they're playing right now. They're still winning 1-0 over the Cardinals. So the Padres, they're going on a winning stretch right now. Can't rely on them currently to lose. Right now, you need to win your games. The Brewers lost that series to the Mets. They won today. You needed to take care of business tonight and snap your goddamn losing streak. You did that tonight. Still, way too many things that were not good in this ballgame. Way too many. Way too many. I'm way happy that you got the win. I'm pumped that you got the win. 3 for 11 with runners in scoring position. 3 for 11. Not good enough. Segura had a chance. Maton had a chance before he eventually got pinched hit for Guthrie. Guthrie had your first hit with runners in scoring position this entire game. Vierling had a hit, which was the game winner. Schwarber went 1 for 3. Hoskins 0 for 2. Harper 0 for 2. Between Schwarber, Hoskins, Harper, combined 1 for 7 with runners in scoring position. Those 3 guys specifically. Those 3 guys. Bohm didn't have a chance. JT did not have a chance. Stott didn't have a chance. Left 14 runners on base. And throughout the rest of this goddamn game, I forgot Zack Wheeler pitched tonight. And you know why? Shame on me, because Zack Wheeler, in his return, in his 4 innings of work, was spectacular. He was great. Zack Wheeler looked like vintage Zack Wheeler. He looked like the Zack Wheeler of May, June, and July. That's how good he was. Clocking in 97 to 99 on his fastball consistently throughout his 4 innings of work. He was great. And that is a positive going down the stretch, because you are going to need Zack Wheeler for this rotation. Even though most likely his next start once again is going to be piggybacked by Noah Syndergaard, I would assume the pitch count maybe goes up a little bit more. The pitch count limit was around 55 today at most. He got around 53, between 53 and 55. Zack Wheeler was great. Noah Syndergaard, he got 2 innings of work. He allowed 3 hits. Also struck out 2. He got into a little bit of a situation, but he managed to get out of it. So, the pitching overall, basically besides Seranthony Dominguez, who has been a major issue. I don't know what's wrong with Seranthony. I'm not sure if he's still hurt, because the velocity isn't an issue. It's his goddamn command. The dude cannot locate. Once again, I saw it on the first pitch of the inning that he threw. Just a couple of, nowhere competitive pitches, completely out of the strike zone. 2 walks from him. He looks completely lost. Completely lost since coming back from his injury. I don't know if they rushed him back. I don't know what's going on with that arm of his, but he looks lost. Bryce Harper in the batter's box looks lost. Rhys Hoskins in the batter's box looks lost. Kyle Schwarber comes up with a hit from time to time, but it's not near as consistent as he was in the middle of the year. Gene Segura puts a lot of atrocious at-bats together, but sometimes he'll come up with a hit. JT has been your only consistent veteran. JT is the only veteran that has not looked scared. He's actually trying to help this team. Not to say that the other guys aren't trying. They're, JT's actually coming through. The other guys aren't. It's been JT in the daycare. JT in the daycare. Bohm had a great day at the plate. Stott didn't have a good day at the plate. He's also been, a little bit sloppy in the field the past couple of nights. He had the major error in the beginning of the game yesterday, and he had that huge error in the 8th inning, which led to the Vlad home run. I don't know if he has a little bit of the yips in the field just because of the pressure. But Stott has been better than not in the infield. Hopefully he learns from it, because he also did manage to turn a double play in the 9th inning to help out David Robertson. So maybe he needed that. But Bryce, Rhys, I'm looking at those 2 specifically more. Because like I said, Kyle Schwarber has been coming up with hits and home runs from time to time. Not nearly as consistent, but he hasn't been as atrocious as Hoskins and Harper have. Not nearly as atrocious. Those 2 combined have been terrible. 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 They need to be way better. Way better. And they're feeling it. They are feeling it. Bryce Harper, like I said, I love the guy. He is a fantastic player, one of the best players in baseball. He is sucking right now. He is sucking since he has come back. He's not driving the ball. He looks uncomfortable in the batter's box. He's striking out way too much, and he's rolling over way too many pitches. And sometimes when he gets on base, I like it when he's aggressive. Sometimes he's been over-aggressive. He was over-aggressive in last night's game when, in a chance to, get closer in the ball game. Not good enough. Just not good enough at all. Bryce was 0 for 5 tonight. 0 for 5. Unacceptable. Unacceptable from him. Rhys Hoskins, 0 for 4 with a walk, 2 strikeouts. Unacceptable. Completely unacceptable from him. Just unacceptable at all costs. Everything. And there's other stuff that I want to talk about maybe a little bit later too, because this is going on to, everything on, because I was listening to 97.5 The Fanatic today, best show ever, everything like that. Great show. I recommend it. They were talking about leadership qualities and everything like that with this Phillies team, and they were bringing up Bryce Harper and everything like that. So, I don't want to knock the guy Bryce Harper, but he has been sucking. Bryce Harper last year carried, a crippling Phillies team to somewhat playoff contention last year, all the way till the end of the year. Won the MVP. Fantastic year out of Bryce Harper. I loved every second of it. This year, had an MVP type of numbers going into the beginning of the year, but ever since he's come back, he's been terrible. Bryce Harper last year carried this team till the very end. This year, he's sucking in September. Both can be true. Both can be true. It doesn't mean Bryce Harper is a terrible player, but he's sucking right now. Both are true. And we were talking about, and they were talking about on the radio, leadership qualities on this team. Like, who is probably the real leader? And everyone on the radio was considering that Schwarber is the leader of this locker room. Came in free agency. He's basically the only guy in this locker room that's won a World Series. Been with all those Chicago Cubs teams that made it to the playoffs. So he knows, Schwarber's been basically to the playoffs every year of his career with the Cubs. So he knows a thing or two about winning. And he knows a thing or two about leading a locker room. So Schwarber's the voice for the locker room. And they were also talking about Bryce Harper. Maybe Bryce isn't the leader in the locker room. Bryce isn't that type of guy. That could be true. That definitely could be very true. Bryce Harper, the way I see it, he is a top 5 to top 7 player in baseball. He's not a good leader. He's not a good leader. That's why there's so many other guys around in that clubhouse that are probably leaders than Bryce Harper. Like, I wouldn't say that's a bad thing, even though Bryce Harper is still your best player. You would like your, star player to be the leader of the clubhouse, but sometimes maybe that isn't the case. But right now, Bryce is sucking. And is that affecting the rest of the team? Possibly. But Bryce Harper needs to get the fuck it together. He does. I don't know if he's still feeling everything with that thumb, but he needs to get it together. Because, like I said, JT is right now the only veteran in this lineup so far, in that top part of the lineup, that is doing things consistently on a daily basis. Schwarber, like I said, time to time, he'll get that hit, but not as consistent enough. Rhys has been equally as terrible as Bryce. Segura, like I said, he puts together terrible bats, but like Schwarber, he'll get that hit from time to time. More times than not. It's Bryce and Rhys. Bryce and Rhys. Your daycare has basically been saving your asses for a while. Also, don't forget about Gene Segura's play in that top of the 10th inning when Andrew Bellotti allowed the bases loaded. Walked a couple of guys there. Gene Segura with a game-saving play against Teoscar Hernandez, diving play to get the second out of the inning to get turns to double play at second base. So Gene Segura saved the game there with his defense. Then you load the bases up. Matt Vierling gets the walk-off hit for his 5th hit of the night. You needed this win desperately. You desperately needed this win. You're now 81-67 on the year. You're still 2.5 games above the Milwaukee Brewers now. So you got the win where you needed it. Desperately needed the win. Desperately needed the win. Possibly this win on the hands of Matt Vierling could have saved your season. Possibly could have saved your season. And maybe you go into this series with the Braves this weekend on a little bit of a high note that you got to win under your goddamn belt. But your starting pitching needs to get some innings this series. You're starting, but you start with Ranger Suarez tomorrow against Max Fried. Ranger needs to go at least 6-7. Needs to. Use a lot of bullpen arms this series. A lot of bullpen arms yesterday. A lot of bullpen arms today because you went extras. You need Ranger Suarez to go at least 7. Maybe 6 or 7. He needs to. He desperately needs to. You need Aaron Nola to go deep into his ball game. Bailey Falter, he's going to give you that 5-6 like he always does. Then you're going to get Kyle Gibson on Sunday, who I do not trust at whatsoever. You got to find a way to win this series or find a way to split this series against Atlanta. Win or split. Because right now, winning a series isn't guaranteed with the way this team has been playing against teams that are above 500. Split or win the series. You can't lose this series. You cannot lose this series at all. Maybe it's a little different that you're playing the Braves at home instead of in their ballpark. You have been better against the Braves this year at home than on the road. Maybe that's a little bit of a difference maker. But you need to win. You need to win. And also talk about guys coming out of the bullpen not throwing strikes. Literally right now, the only guys that I'm relying on out of the bullpen are Jose Alvarado and sometimes David Robertson. I feel like Jose Alvarado has probably been your most consistent guy out of the bullpen. It even looks like Jose didn't even have the best stuff tonight, and he still managed to get it out of his inning. So, right now, your bullpen, maybe they're feeling the effects of the shortened rotation a little bit, but your starting pitching needs to come up this series, and your bats need to find it. Like, your top guys need to show up this series. I'm talking about Schwarber consistently. I'm talking about Rhys Hoskins. I'm talking about Bryce Harper. JT, continue to do what you're doing. Gene Segura. Let the young guys continue to contribute the way they've been. And you'll be fine. But your stars, your guys, need to step up. Look what Ronald Acuna Jr. did in Atlanta against you this weekend with the way he single-handedly won those games for the team. Your stars need to do that this weekend. Your stars, your guys need to do it. Show up. Win games. Because I saw a lot of things with this Phillies team in this game. My mind went through so many thoughts. Your season was saved tonight. Your season was possibly saved tonight. Now build off of this and win more games. You have to do it. It's mandatory at this point. Because like I said, the Padres, they're on a winning stretch. You cannot guarantee them losing games right now. The Brewers, it's not guaranteed they'll win series, but they're not an easy out. And their schedule is a little bit easier than yours going down the stretch. They play the Reds in their next series, I believe, on the road. 4-game series, I believe, with them. So that's not a guarantee. Even though the Brewers have been a lot better of a home team than they are on the road. So nothing's guaranteed. Well, still, at this point, take it. Nothing is guaranteed at this point. You need to win your games. Your magic number is 11. You need to win. You need to win. You cannot rely on these other teams that are around you to lose right now. You cannot rely on that. It's a bonus that when they do, but you need to win your games. You got to go into this Brave series, split or win the series. Split or win it. Can't lose it. Can't get swept. My God, this team. My God. So many chances of runners in scoring position in this game, and they didn't hit anything. My God. My God. My God. My God. So if you look at the lineup today, overall, Kyle Schwarber 1 for 5 with that huge hit in the 8th inning. Tied the ball game up. Rhys Hoskins, like I said, he was 0 for 4, 2 strikeouts, unacceptable by him. Bryce Harper, 0 for 5, 2 strikeouts, unacceptable. JT had a solo shot in the 8th inning, which got the rally started. Went 2 for 5 in this game with an RBI. Actually, just the way ESPN, they like redid their whole box score type of thing, so they added the home run to it. So it's kind of throwing me off. But still, 2 for 5 for JT, 2 for 5 for Bohm. Stott went over 4 with 2 strikeouts, so he's a little bit sluggish at the plate lately. Gene Segura 1 for 3. Maton over 2, but then Guthrie came in. He went 1 for 1 with 2 walks. So Guthrie's coming off of the bench and producing. Guthrie's batting .500 since he's been called up. Now, that's not, something that's going to carry over consistently. It's not. But he's a nice spark plug off the bench right now. Hopefully that continues. And Matt Vierling going 5 for 5. 5 for 5 with an RBI for Matt Vierling. All singles, though. But still 5 for 5 nonetheless, and he got you the walk-off hit. Looking at the pitchers, like I said, Zack Wheeler in his return tonight. A lot of promise. A lot of promise. He was fantastic. 4 innings, 2 hits, 3 strikeouts, 58 pitches. He was great. He was absolutely great. Reaching 97, 98, 99 on that fastball. He was throwing fastballs and sinkers more consistently, not throwing as many off-speed pitches, but still he was pounding the fastball. He looked good. He looked really good. And that is promising. Noah Syndergaard, 2 innings pitched, 3 hits allowed, 2 strikeouts on 28 pitches. So right now, the piggyback of those two, they were good in their first game. Jose Alvarado, he walked the guy, but then he struck out 2 on 18 pitches. So Rampy Dominguez, he looks completely lost. Only got 1 out, 2 hits allowed. And then the error by Stott happened. And then he allowed the home run to Vladdy. And then you also walked 2 batters on 25 pitches. Nick Nelson tried to come in and finish the job. He also walked the batter, but he managed to limit the damage. David Robertson, he allowed a walk, but got out of his inning. Thank you to Stott turning a double play this time. And then Andrew Bellotti, he walked 2 guys in extras with the ghost runner, allowed the bases loaded, but then Gene Segura saved his ass, saved the ball game as well, to allow the Phillies to win it in the bottom of the 10th. So there you go. So, you won a game. Looking at the standings, like I said, you're 81 and 67 on the year. It is physically impossible for this team to be below 500 this year, which is a good thing. If you're looking at that. The Padres, they're 82 and 66 on the year. They're a game ahead of you in the wild card. And if they win tonight, it'll go back to a game and a half. And the Brewers, they are 2.5 games behind you for that wild card spot. And the Braves, they already clinched a playoff spot tonight. So right now, looking in the National League, there's only 4 teams left that have possible chances at making the playoffs. The Giants, they're most likely going to get eliminated eventually, which will turn it down to 3 teams between the Phillies, the Brewers, and the Padres. You got to win your games. You control your own destiny. Snap out of this. You won tonight. Move forward and win more games. Go through this Brave series, split or win the series, and then you go on that road trip against two straight series against teams that are below 500. Although you got swept by the Cubs earlier this year. Go down to, well, I'm not looking that far ahead, but you got to win those 2 series against Chicago and Washington. You got to at least split the series against Atlanta, and then you got to go down to Chicago and Washington and win those series. You got to win baseball games. You cannot consistently rely on the Brewers to win. You just cannot. Because looking at the Brewers' remaining schedule, they have 4-game series on the road against Cincinnati. Then they have a 2-game series at home against St. Louis. Then they have a 4-game series at home against Miami. So it's Miami. Maybe Miami will hopefully come up huge that series for us. And then they have a 3-game series to finish off their season against Arizona at home. They have 3 straight series at home to finish the season. Milwaukee does. And if you want to look at San Diego, let's look at San Diego. Looking at their schedule to finish the year off. They're playing these 3-game series against St. Louis. They have another game tomorrow against them. They won the first game 5-0. They're currently winning their game right now 1-0 in the 7th inning. And then after St. Louis, 3-game series on the road in Colorado, and then 3 straight series at home to finish off the year. 3 against the Dodgers, 3 against the White Sox, and 3 against the Giants. So their schedule, definitely not as easy as Milwaukee's is, but you never know. You never know with the way they're winning right now. They have won 4 straight games. Could be a 5th they win tonight. So they're on a little bit of a winning stretch right now. Maybe they'll snap out of that and maybe lose more games, but still, you control your own destiny. You control your own destiny, and especially when you have those tiebreakers against both of these teams. You got to win your games. You got to win your games. No more of this 6-4-5. Well, it wasn't a 6-game losing, but 5-game losing streaks. These stretches where you're losing so many games right here. You got to win. You got to come into this Brave series and find a way to compete. You got to win 2 games minimum. 2 games minimum. Ranger Suarez needs to go at least 6-7 innings tomorrow. Same thing with Aaron Nola on Friday, actually. And I'm going to Friday and Saturday's games, so hopefully they win those games. So I don't waste my time there. Got those tickets for free, so hopefully it does happen. My nerves. My nerves, folks. Absolute nerves. So let's look at the live feed right here. Mr. W thinks he's died 11 times during that game. Oh, I agree with you, dude. I maybe died 50 times. Best catcher in baseball, Carshield 5 for 5. Bullpen still sucks, and Harper, we're not going to talk about Harper. We already did. JT got it going. Yep, JT was good in this game. He was good in these 2 games. 5 for 5 yesterday, and he was good today. You should probably just trade Bryce Harper to the Mets. He's washed up clearly. No, I'm not going to do that. Dr. Drew, not going to fall for your tricks. Bring up Derek Hall. I don't think the Phillies have an extra roster spot at this point to bring him up. Who knows what could happen, though, but I don't think they have the extra roster spot. I know Derek Hall is crushing it down in AAA right now, but it'd be nice. It'd definitely be nice. JT's 2 stolen bases away from 2020 club as a catcher, and that would be nice if that happens. He'll definitely get there. This is what a playoff team is supposed to do. Playoff teams can rely on their young guys. Yeah, the friggin' daycare has been carrying this team's ass for a little bit. Wow, think to think where this team would be without Bohm, Vierling, Stott, Maton, and now Cuffrey. Yeah, like I said, daycare. We could still be better. This doesn't erase how ugly the last few games have been. Exactly. Didn't think they had it in them. Stott fielding has been atrocious. Yeah, it has been atrocious the last few games. I think he'll snap out of it, though. Sir Anthony is cooked also. They should have won this game by 5 runs. Yep. What is the infatuation with Rhys and batting second? Give it up already. I think they do need to change the lineup up with some of these guys. They do. I think Rhys needs to move down in the lineup. I don't think they're going to move Bryce, though. Maybe you move Schwarber down in the lineup, but I don't know what happens. This was a still much needed win. Please follow up with a good baseball against the Braves. With the Brewers playing the Reds, we need wins, period. Exactly. It is not guaranteed that the Brewers are going to lose to the Reds because the Reds are not a good team. They are not. Rhys looked like a frightened turtle in his last at-bat. Yeah, Rhys had some terrible at-bats tonight. So many terrible. Like, there was a chance with runners in score position. He went down with 3 pitches. 3 pitches. And the one in the 8th inning against Romano, 3 straight pitches down the middle of the plate. And the 3rd one he grounded out on. Like, how do you not crush any of those pitches, Rhys? It's got to be better. Hoskins has been through all these September meltdowns. Hoskins needs to be gone. We'll get to there when we get to the offseason, but I do have some thoughts about that when we get there. Kyle had a big hit tonight. Yeah, Kyle Schwarber did have a big hit. I'm not going to forget about that, but he needs to be more consistent. Like I said, JT has been the guy that's been more consistent than not down the stretch. 12 hits should have probably been 6 runs. Yeah, they didn't be better runners in score position. When Bryce is on, he hits at the left field. He's trying to hit monster home runs to right, and he's stinging it up right now. Exactly. He looks very uncomfortable in the batter's box. Thompson has to bench him for a game or 2. Are you talking about Rhys or Bryce? It could be either both at this point. Sit him versus 3 tomorrow? Who knows what happens? Who knows? With all the bullpen guys used tonight and pitches thrown, this team could be could be shorthanded tomorrow if needed. You never know. Like I said, that's why you need a Ranger to go at least 6 or 7 tomorrow. 11 is the magic number. Got to somehow win this series. Exactly. The bullpen is killing itself with the amount of balls they throw. Yeah, you need to throw strikes. That's one of the issues with this bullpen, too. Does Thompson have the balls to move Rhys down and actually put Bryce second, JT third, Kyle fourth right now? Who knows? Who knows there, man? Guthrie deserves to play until Nick Castellanos decides to suck it up and play. Well, quad injuries are very weird to deal with, so probably is not feeling. But they're saying he could be on a rehab assignment next week, hopefully. That's hopefully if everything goes right. 3 games up in the loss column, and we own the tiebreaker, so basically a 4-game lead with 14 to go. Well, right now it's 2.5 games up, so still basically that same scenario. It'd be a 3.5 game lead with a tiebreaker and everything like that. In that series, there's a doubleheader, which is ridiculous to add to this end of the season. Yeah, it's everything with the lockout and everything like that. Really screws up the schedule. And was there like a game that was canceled or like postponed earlier in the season to where they scheduled that doubleheader, or was like this doubleheader one of the rescheduled games from the games that were canceled from the lockout? So there's something to think about right there. Do they really need Donnie Sands on the roster? I'm not sure where that thing is, but Boston Chris says way more stressful than the 93 drive, and that one took 10 years off my life. Sadly, I was not born then. It's all about the loss column right now. That's why tonight was so huge. Yeah, exactly. Phillies have 67 losses. Brewers have 70. So there you go. And looking at the updated with the Padres and Cardinals game, my words are so split up. My mind is screwed up with this goddamn game with tonight. So pardon my English tonight. Padres, they're still winning 1-0 in the top of the 7th inning. I think Snell was on the mound in that game for them. Let me see. Let me see. Oh, Pujols is batting right now. Wonder if that's going to turn into anything. They got Blake Snell pitched tonight. 12 strikeouts. My God. And the Cardinals only have 1 hit. Yeah, Snell was dealing tonight. I wonder if they're showing Pujols as at bat on MLB Network. I wonder. You wonder. Yes, they are. Okay, it's not Pujols as a batter anymore. It's Juan Yepez. Where is Yepez? Oh, I guess Pujols got out or got on base. Most likely one of those situations. Yep, Pujols got on base. So, who knows? Who the hell knows? Still on a collision course with the Mets. Who knows? Who knows? That division's going to come down to that last series against the season with the Braves and the Mets. Who knows what happens there? Kind of do think the Braves are going to end up winning the division, which is with how great they're playing, but we need to win this series. We desperately do. Desperately do. What else? There's really nothing else on Twitter. I'm trying to see if there's anything from the game. What else? Oh, the freaking Cardinals were being no hit until that point, and Pujols got the first hit of the game. Wow. Was it a hit or was it a walk? No, it was a hit. So Pujols got the first hit of the game for them. That's interesting. Very, very, very interesting. What else? Is there anything on this game at all? Interview-wise? Anything? No, does not look like it right now. No, does not look like it. So, I think that's where we're going to end it tonight, everyone. Very emotional night, very stressful night, but the Phillies finally snapped their losing streak. And they get a win on the board as the Cardinals just get another hit with 2 outs, and now they have 2 runners on with 2 outs against Blake Snell. He's got 113 pitches too. So, wonder what happens there. We'll wait and see what happens the rest of the night. So, I thank you everyone for joining tonight's live stream. So don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section down below. I like to read those as always. Do not forget to drop a like on the video. Do not forget to check out everything in the description down below. BrodesMedia, Painted Lines, I recommend all of that. Same thing with hitting that subscribe button. Goes a very long way. I recommend joining the TTP Sports family, so hit that subscribe button. Also use the code TTPSPORTS, $20 off your first purchase at SeatGeek. Use it for anything that you can think of. Great deal. Do not pass up on that. Once again, thank you for joining tonight's stream, and I will see you next time.